Hey there, Pursuing Freedom friends. Thanks for tuning in today. We're really excited today to introduce you to Raul Hernandez. I just butchered that, but that's okay. So Raul Hernandez with Paisano Real Estate in Denver, and he is one of the leaders on the Countryman home team with his dad. He's got a really fascinating story, which I love about, getting into real estate and trucking along, doing some deals, and then realizing there was a baby on the way and stepping up his game and going to 32 closings a year overnight a couple years back. So, and it's been all uphill since then and continuing to grow. So he's got a lot to share with us about being a team leader, being a mentor, working with his dad and all that good stuff. So with no further ado, we'll jump right in. Raul, if you could just give us a little bit of background on your story and how and when you got into real estate and why, and a little bit more about the journey since then.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it. A little bit about the story. Basically, I've been working in real estate licensed since 2011. My dad, he's been in real estate since I was born, 28, almost 29 years. And basically, I got my license in 2021. It was one of those things where my dad was like, come on, get your license. It's going to be something that you'll love. You're going to love this business. First couple of years, I think I closed 4 deals my first year, 6 deals my second year, and 9 deals my third year. And then after that, me and my wife, we found out that we were going to be having a baby. We had a baby on the way. So that year, I completely shifted everything. I closed 32 deals that year. It was definitely it was a beautiful wake-up call. I'll call it that. But other than that, since then, we started the Countryman home team. It's my dad's team, Raul Hernandez. He's also the broker of the company here where I work at. And now, we have 6 agents on the team. 4 of them my mentors. So aside from my transactions, I also help them with that. Just busy with this crazy market. And, I mentioned that I had a daughter. We just had twins 4 months ago. So identical twin baby girls. Real estate and twins and kids and everything. It's a fun, crazy life. So,
So you're not busy at all. You're just sitting back with your feet up, relaxing.
Yeah, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, totally. So for those who are listening, I can only imagine that a lot of people want to know why or what did you do when you said it was a wake-up call? Because I talk a lot with agents who, there's a lot of fear in this business, right? We have fear about making calls. We have fear about asking for referrals and things like that. But there comes a point, I think, in every successful agent's life where we hit a crossroads where we just have to feel the fear and do it anyway, rip the Band-Aid off and go for it. And it sounds like that's what happened to you. And I'd like to know a little bit more about that. So what activities changed and what did you do with your mindset to get from where you were to where you were trying to go? Like, what did that transformation look like?
Yeah. No, definitely. Well, I think before I kind of was, I worked as an assistant as well. So I wasn't just out chasing clients all day. Eventually I just kind of got in the mood of, in the mode of just waiting for people to come in, pretty much, like walk in, stuff like that. And then I started making cold calls. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But again, I didn't really have that motivation or whatever it was to push me forward into getting more business. As soon as I found out I was going to be a dad, fear was still there, but I had to put it aside. I had to do it. It wasn't an option to not do it. And I think a big thing for me is, to this day, I'll cold call, but I hate it. I'm not a big fan of it. So I had to become really, really good at asking for referrals. That was the biggest thing for me. Follow up, I think, was the biggest game changer for me. People, just because somebody's not ready or doesn't need anything 1 month, if you call them in 3 months, doesn't mean they're going to blow you off or whatever. I think that's just stories that we tell ourselves to not make that phone call. But that was it. I literally, I would just call people just to say, hey, how you doing? How's everything going? I would write down notes. If they have a family member that just graduated from CU Boulder, I would say, hey, how's that person doing? What did they get into? Just stuff like that. Just come up with a conversation every single time that I would call them. So I think that was definitely the biggest game changer. Aside from that, obviously with starting the team, now we had so much support to really grow and expand. We have actually 3 people here that all they do, their lead management, they just strictly talk to people that are interested in buying. Whenever I have somebody that's interested in buying, they'll help me with the process as far as getting started. But then again, it's all the follow-up. That's my biggest thing.
So are you working with buyers and sellers today, or mostly sellers?
So right now, I am working with a lot of sellers, mainly it's sellers, but it's not, I still do have buyers. Right now, I have about 6 deals under contract and 3 of them are buyers. So it's usually it's about, I'd say about 75% sellers, 25% buyers. But the other 5 agents that are on my team that I help mentor, the 4 of the 5, they mainly work with buyers. Theirs is probably like 95% buyers, 5% sellers.
Okay. So when you're talking about follow-up and the calling and whatnot, are you following up on a combination of internet leads and sphere and repeat and refer past clients, or like when you're mentoring the other agents, are they doing cold calling to internet leads, or are you coaching them on database marketing strictly?
So I would say my main is definitely database marketing, but it's kind of so basically the way I break down my week is every Tuesday and Thursday I strictly stick to following up with past clients or sphere of influence. That's Tuesdays and Thursdays every single day or every single week. That's one of my biggest things. It just kind of helps keep things fluid. If I have a follow up on a Monday for a client that I closed 3 years ago, I'll move it right to a Tuesday. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, that's new business. That's people that are we sparked the conversation. You asked about social media. That's one of the big things that definitely, we do a lot of videos. We do a lot of stuff like that. It attracts a lot of, people just asking a simple question. As soon as they ask me a question and I have some, if they give me some form of information, contact, phone number, I'm going to reach out to them eventually. And not eventually, as in long term, I have a plan. Usually it's about, weekly, the first couple months until, if they don't answer, then it's bi-weekly. I kind of start extending that, but it's just a big thing is being in front of them and, really being that person that pops into mind as soon as they think real estate.
So when you first made that leap to go from, 6-9 deals to 32 deals, which is a really healthy business, when you were like, now you've got a database, it's been many years now, you've got past clients, you've got a sphere, all that good stuff. But when you're first launching and you don't have a big database of past clients, who were you calling on then? When you mentioned cold calling, what kind of cold calling were you doing?
I guess it would be more of it wasn't as much. You're talking about before, right? Before we said it wasn't that much. I really wasn't. You know what? A big thing with us here at Paisano is that, most of the agents, everybody except for one agent now, actually, we're all bilingual. We're completely bilingual. So we did have a lot of that, that walk-in clientele that was walking in. So that was something I guess that I really did, really helped me when I wasn't making the phone calls that I was supposed to be making. And obviously my numbers reflected it at that time, closing 4 deals, 6 deals. I was a 21-year-old kid that really didn't need too much. And I guess I'm 28 now, but still, those 7 years, that's a long time from now. And, everything changed. But yeah, it was the Spanish speaking thing has always been a huge thing. It's kind of it's a clientele niche that we've always worked with. We've always helped being that all of us are bilingual here at the office, including the admin staff, including everybody else.
Awesome. Well, that actually leads me to a question I have. You mentioned that you're doing a lot of video and social media. Do you mix it up then? Do you do some of your videos in Spanish and some of your videos in English?
Yes. So actually, most of the listing videos, everything is in English, right? So when we put out a new listing, it's in English. But I just did an interview with an inspector, and I just asked him some basic questions, just general knowledge for the buyer or for whoever's watching the video. And that was completely done. We have one that was completely done in Spanish and one that was completely done in English. That was the first video I think that I did that kind of style, and we had a lot of people share it. It actually got a lot of good attention. I got a couple of people asking me like, oh, this is interesting, and I got people saying, hey, my house, he mentioned something about the furnace, my house is doing this, and eventually they asked me what's the value of my home, and that's kind of the big thing that I've seen about these videos. But yeah, it's Spanish and English, mainly English with listings, but interview stuff like that is Spanish.
Okay, and when your business started to take off, were you getting a lot of coaching and mentoring from your dad or from other areas?
Definitely my dad. I think my dad, when the market was really slow, obviously 2008, I worked as his assistant back then. And literally my coaching program was jumping in the car with him, going to every single appointment every single day. Then it got to the point where as soon as I got licensed, I was doing all the paperwork, I was doing all that stuff. And definitely, he's my dad, he's my coach, he's my mentor, he's my broker, he's my best friend and everything, so definitely took advantage the time that we spent together asking him questions. And I mean, my dad, he's got patience like crazy. I would ask him every question in the book, and he would literally stop, look at me, and explain. And I love that. I definitely owe the majority of what I know now is to him.
That's amazing. And do you have other siblings?
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 6. So yeah, I have 3 brothers and I have 2 sisters.
Okay, so now that you've got twin 4-month-old, 4-month-olds, and a 4-year-old, are you gonna like get 3 more to go before you feel your team is complete?
I'm competitive.
So it's gonna be 7.
No, I don't know. No, me and my wife have talked definitely about one more. But who knows? I love kids. I told my wife, I was like, hey, if you want 6, 7, let's do it. But I'll leave the ball in her court.
Oh my God, I love it. So, in terms of do you have like other family members that are a part of the business, or how was it that you became the one that ended up taking on the legacy?
Yeah. So, I when I joined the company, I did have an uncle who was doing it for a while. He opened up his own brokerage. I had a cousin that was working here, a couple cousins. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely turned into for us, we consider it a family business. But yeah, I learned from them too. Like my uncle, his name is Omar. I learned from him a lot as well over the years. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of family mixed with a lot of friends who eventually became like family. That's kind of the culture that we definitely have here. So
I love it. Well, I have to be honest. I think you might be you're not the first, but you're one of the few millennials we've had on this show. So I have to ask you, because I do some coaching with real estate agents, and I see a lot of hesitancy to use the phone with your generation. And I'm wondering, because you mentioned you've been on the phone a lot and you're in your 20s. So what advice do you have to other folks your age that try to build their business on simply text and social media? I mean, you've got to get on the phone and talk to people. So how did you personally overcome that? What advice do you have for other folks your age in this business that are shying away from using the phone and saying that people don't like to talk on the phone anymore?
I definitely do. I think that the phone call is just that contact of actually talking to somebody. It really helps you not only, it really doesn't only show the client who they're talking to, but it also helps you see what the buyer's like. When you hear them talk, there's no delete button in the conversation, right? You can't go back and say something, I think it's much more personable. And, me, like I said, I hated cold calling. I hated all that stuff. But I think it was much more easier to develop a connection and really a relationship with those people. Social media, I have a lot of clients that I get from Facebook posts, texting, all that stuff. I have those clients as well. But I think that a lot of my sellers and everything, they want to talk to you on the phone. They want to hear what you're saying, right? I know right now in the world that we live in today, you mentioned the millennial thing, everything's quick, text message. But I think that just like, the reason that I help people, the reason I'm here is to really be here to answer all their questions. And some people just, some people hate texting. That's just the truth. And especially like the older crowd, or not even the older crowd, but just, 30, 40 years old, they prefer the phone call. They prefer everything. And that's just the thing is I think that the thing is not to really just master one thing. It's to really be a master of everything. Talking, texting, emailing. If you're going to text somebody, you better be fast at texting. If you're going to call somebody, answer the phone or make the phone call right back.
So I love that. I mean, I never would have guessed your age, because you bring this level of confidence, which is really impressive to me, especially as I think back to what my business looked like when I was your age, and it was a disaster. So I'm wondering, do you feel like the confidence that you bring to working with clients of all ages and to conversing with them and building their trust in you, do you attribute that to the fact that you've been side by side with your dad, or do you feel like that was sort of always built into you? I mean, it's impressive that you lead with this confidence that I'm sure puts people at ease. What do you attribute that to?
Well, just working in real estate at a young age, it was really hard to get people to trust me. So I had to develop that confidence young. And that's I didn't have the option to, if I wasn't confident and if I let my age affect me, then I wouldn't, I don't think I would have closed those deals when I was 23, 24. But that's it. I think, we have a couple agents on our team that are 2021. And I think, one of them has already closed 5 deals this year. The other one's already closed 3. And these kids, I mean, they're kids. I kind of look back at how close the age gap is. It's not that far of an age gap, but I think it's just, you know, knowing that, you know, just be confident in what you know. You know, you learn something. If you learn it, then use it. I think I would definitely doubt myself at a younger age, as far as like, you know, they're not going to listen to me. Why would they listen to me if I tell them to go 5,000 over the asking price? What do I know? You know, that kind of thing. But it's no, you know, I just think it's really paying attention, learning what it is you want to learn about the business, whether it's with buyers or sellers, and just going for it. I mean, you know, the worst thing that can happen is you get a no, right? If it's a phone call, or if you're wrong, you learn, and that's the only way to go.
So in terms of the social media stuff, it doesn't surprise me that you've jumped in with both feet. Do you guys do a collective marketing approach with social media? Does your dad jump in with social media, or are you kind of doing your own thing and you're doing whatever, you know, you see fit for your own personal brand?
So what we're doing mainly is we actually have a marketing department here at the office. It's just the two guys, Justin and Erin. These guys are amazing. Without them, I don't know, that they've definitely sparked something else in our business. But yeah, so what we do is we really like to focus on the video listings, the listing videos, to make sure that we get those up. We've been doing a lot of videos, like my brother Angel Hernandez. He just did. He's 21 years old. He just did a video where it was like steps on what a first-time home buyer should do to get, or you know, what you need to get qualified. And you know, he mentioned in there, as far as renting and buying, you know, it was just a quick information video, and I think he got like 816 organic views in like 3 days. You know, and that's something that you know, we really want to push out, because a lot of the clientele that we do help is they're first-time home buyers, right? They're a lot of that chapel buyer. They're in that kind of realm of real estate. And the thing is that we want to make sure that we show everybody that you can do it. You can really buy a house. So those kind of videos, I think those are our best videos. Other than that, you know, as far as the plan, we just plan to post a video a week at least. And whether it be me, my brother, we have another agent named David Black. He does a lot of social media as well. But yeah, it's just pretty much getting as much content out there as we can. You know, yeah.
So are you doing that via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of the above?
Mainly Facebook. I do Instagram. A big thing on Instagram is the stories. I think a lot of people do tune into that, and I get a lot of reaction. I get more of a reaction from clients or potential clients when posting stories. You know, whether it be something funny, whether it be a picture of the twins, whether it be yesterday I put up some hanging lights in my backyard, and I posted a video of that, and I had somebody reach out and say, "Oh, I want a backyard so I could do that to my own house." And I'm meeting with them tomorrow. So that's that kind of activity. I think social media, I use it more. Instagram, I use it more for direct content, and then Facebook is more just consistency in content.
Awesome. Well, I think it's really important you're touching upon this, because I feel like there's a lot of fear around social media. There's a lot of fear around doing video and getting in front of the camera and all these things. And the way that you're doing it is you're doing it from an educational perspective. You're explaining things. You're talking about inspections. You're talking about first-time buyers and what to expect from the process. And at the end of the day, if that's what sets you apart from the rest, is that people trust you, they believe that you're going to explain things in a way that makes sense to them. And we all know this is like a foreign language if you've never bought a home before. I think the fact that you're putting it out there ahead of the game, like you're one step ahead of your clients. So when they get referred to you and they find you, they're finding that you are here to give value and you are here to educate. And if that's what you're about, then I think it's really important that you leverage social media so that people can learn that about you before they've ever even had the chance to meet you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, many of these people we don't know in person, but we've been friends on social media for a year or two. And then when I meet them, they're like, "Oh, how are your twins? How's everything?" I'm like, "Well, I've never met you," you know. But at the same time, that's what it is. I mean, I think posting content that really helps people relate is huge. It's huge. It's not about, you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, the high-end real estate is awesome. It's something that I love being a part of. But I think sometimes if I were to post nothing but $1 million houses, if I were to post nothing but, you know, those things that people might not relate as much to, it wouldn't you know, people just, we wouldn't have that connection right after that when we talk. And that's the thing, like I said, I mean, you know, first time home buyer inspection, stuff like that. when you're in the business, you're like, oh, people aren't gonna like this, but that's because we deal with it every day. But people are very interested in this kind of information, and I think it's very I love being a part of that educational process for the buyer or for the seller.
I love that. I just recently started doing a weekly video similar to this with, just mortgage information. And
yeah,
a lot of people get stuck on content. What am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? What am I going to do a video about? The reality is the content is in the everyday. It's in the mundane, because it might be mundane to us, but like you said, it's not mundane to the client, especially if they've never done this before. There's so much information that we're constantly explaining things all day, every day. If you just took a voice recorder and recorded yourself on the phone with a client throughout the day, you would hear 10 different video topics that you could create to educate on,
Yeah.
And it's interesting because they talk about scripting and stuff too, but we kind of become broken records. Well, we think we're a broken record to ourselves, but without realizing it, we're creating a script that could be content, that could be a video. It's like just documenting what you're doing, really.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think an example of that is, a lot of people, for example, if they don't have let's say they have a home, right, and then they want to buy another house, there's a lot of people may think that they need to sell that home, and then where am I going to live until I buy a new home, that kind of stuff, and just maybe putting out education as far as the actual process of somebody that might be in that position that hasn't made the move because of that. I think that's a perfect example of something like that.
Yeah. So what does the mentoring process look like for you and the rest of your team? Are you guys doing scheduled weekly meetings? Are you available to them for just random questions, or how do you guys structure that?
Both. So every Monday we have a meeting. I actually just finished a meeting an hour and a half ago, but every Monday at 11 o'clock we have a meeting. We go over the week. We go over things that are changing, things that are happening. We have our transaction coordinator in there to kind of go over certain issues that may have came up that week. Let's say, if I have something that came up in a transaction, I'll bring it up and I'll explain to them how I solved it. And then aside from that, I'm available, to them pretty much 24/7. That's last night I got a call, Saturday I got a call at 9 p.m. right when I was walking into a movie. And hey, can you review this contract? Let's do it. We reviewed it right away. It had a well and a septic, so I had to make sure it was written right on the contract. But yeah, that's it. And then another thing, obviously I look over comps, make sure that the price is good. We like to make sure that if somebody needs a mentor, it's for the first 10, 15 deals. After that, if they feel comfortable, great. And if not, then, I'll stick by their side. And even when they feel comfortable, when they don't have a mentor, they still come to me, and I love it. I want to help as many people like my dad helped me.
That's so awesome. And what do you see as the biggest challenge right now for young agents that are new to the business? Where do you see them getting hung up?
I think one thing that you touched on earlier was the social media content post. I do see that being an issue, definitely, because I think that, like you mentioned, we feel like we may be repetitive, or we may be, or everybody else is posting about this, but who cares? That's the thing, is I think it's just kind of getting ourselves out of the way and really just going for what we're here to do: teach people, help people, and eventually help somebody get into their home. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just, or that's one of the bigger things. Sorry, the media content, the social media content. Just don't overthink it. Just day to day. If you're gonna go wash your car, take a picture of the car wash. If you're gonna go show a house and there's a kitchen you really like, take a picture of it. Something like that. Especially with social media, it's immediate. You literally can take a picture while showing a house of a gorgeous bathroom that you've seen, and that's it. You'll get 20, 30 likes, 40 likes, and somebody might say, I want a bathroom like that, and there you go. That's a huge thing, I think.
So it sounds to me like your social media strategy is pretty organic. Do you have any amount of structure in it? Because a lot of people say, oh, I plan out all my posts for the whole month, or I do all my posts for the week on one day, and I've tried that and I stink at it. So I'm just curious, do you put any structure into it, or do you just literally create content as you go constantly?
I create content as I go, and I do think that I think having a routine and structure is definitely something that I should implement. But like you said, I've tried to implement that, and it wasn't I think social media, to really connect with somebody, it has to be personal, like something that I don't know. Planned is awesome, but I like posting just organic things. If I get home and my daughter colored all over my walls, and I'll post something about it, something simple, and then somebody will relate to it, But that's definitely I'm not taking away from the routine, but that's how I do it.
That's awesome. And then, do you have any of that handled for you with your team?
So So what basically the way we do it is, the marketing department will create they'll create the video, they'll create everything, they edit everything, and then I just share it from there. So usually, we will get a message like, hey guys, we're gonna be posting this video tomorrow, share, so that kind of thing. But as far as like a weekly, no, it's as soon as we all get the Slack, everybody Slack message, we all get we all get ready to post the video and share it and just get a little bit more content out there.
And what is Slack for anyone who doesn't know?
Slack Messenger, it's a lifesaver. That's what it is. It's everything. So basically it's just a messaging tool, but you're able to organize it by channels, by groups. I have a group message in there with just my TC, able to send PDFs, everything. So it's, to me, it's like email, texting all in one, and Messenger all in one.
Okay, well, we got signed up for it, and I have to tell you, we couldn't figure out how this was so amazing. But I know so many people that love Slack, especially in our industry. If you have a team, small or big, it's supposed to like centralize your communication. But we kept on doing emails and texts and Slack, and it was like, oh my God, this is all over the place. How did you get everyone to just like dive in and make that the central communication spot?
There was a lot of I think there was definitely a lot of a couple of agents that just didn't want to do it. That they didn't like it. They didn't see the like, why am I going to email you? Why am I going to Slack you when I could just text you or email you?
Right.
But I think the thing is, once everybody kind of started seeing like, if there was a new listing, we had a channel for new listings. Boom. And if somebody wanted to go back and, let's say you're sitting with a client and they want to know if we have any new listings coming up, they can go right to that page and just scroll down. It's organized, so like, let's say somebody's going to have a client appreciation event. We post it on the bulletin board. People go on there, but these are all different channels. Or if somebody wants to post something funny that has nothing to do with work, we have a channel for that as well. So
that's awesome.
But I think that was the thing. It's just once we all started using it and using it the right way with the channels, using them how they're supposed to, and kind of or the messages organizing themselves, when people started seeing the benefit and time management, not having to organize your emails and having to do that because it's all in one place in the channel, that was huge for everybody to jump on board. But our whole team uses it, and most of the office does as well.
Awesome. Well, so you have this demeanor about you that is like really positive, and I don't know, you just seem like you kind of just roll with the punches. You've got 3 little girls at home, twin 4-month-old, you're mentoring, you're selling homes. And let me ask you, like, do you have any advice for people on mindset in this business? Like staying positive, rolling with the punches, because I just get the vibe from you that that's kind of just how you are naturally. But, this business brings a lot of challenges, and there's good days and bad, and there's tough clients and good ones. And do you do anything as a routine to help keep your mindset positive as you go through your day to day?
I think I'm just a positive person. I do definitely don't want, I don't know, I think just I'm a big believer in, if you let one little thing affect you, it'll mess up your whole entire day. So I try to, keep things like, if something happens right now, I'm going to try to handle it right now so I don't let it affect the rest of the day. And when I get home, then I'm going to be in a bad mood and all that stuff. Real estate, it's stressful. It is very stressful. It's a never ending, even when you get home and you're off of work, you're never really off of work, right? So I think it's just having the mentality of like loving what you do. I get to help people move into their home. I get to help people sell their biggest investment. And at the same time, being involved in all these cool transactions, that allows me to take care of my family. So I think just kind of looking at it from more of an angle of, appreciating what you have and really knowing what you're doing. I think that really helps me, stay positive, because, I think, or I know that if I were to let these things get to me, or, just the stress of everything going on at once, kids, everything, it's definitely something that could change everything, so yeah, I like to stay positive and keep people around me positive as well.
I love it. So it sounds like being a part of your team and your dad's would be an amazing gift for anyone who was looking to grow and be mentored. Are you looking to grow? Are you open to bringing on more agents? Is it organic? Are you recruiting? Where are you guys headed from here?
You know what? We've never recruited. And that's not what's kind of funny actually is 3 of the people on the team, they're past clients. We met them when, and that's kind of the thing is that, I mean, obviously we want to grow. That's a big thing. But I think, the culture that we have here, it is like a family. Like I look at the guys on the team like my little brothers, and I like everything. So as far as looking to grow, definitely. If there's somebody that sees the culture, sees us, and they want to be a part of it, let's talk. I'd be more than happy to kind of walk through everything, walk through our daily process, and if it's something that makes sense, I'm sure that my dad, like he's the main like person behind that family atmosphere, right? So he's kind of like, we call him the Godfather. We just joke around because he's got slick black hair. He drives around in a black Cadillac and everything. But he's the nicest guy, and everybody that gets to work on our team, we really do create an amazing relationship and culture. So yeah, I do think that we would love to meet some agents out there that are just motivated and really want to help people.
Now, is everyone in the office bilingual? Is that a prerequisite as you grow?
It's not. No, it's not. We actually, David Black, the agent that I had mentioned to you a little bit ago, he's not. It's funny because he's learning Spanish, right? But he doesn't speak any Spanish at all. But no, it's not a prerequisite. But I definitely do think that Paisano Realty, just over the years, we have that niche of working with Spanish speaking, right? So it's definitely a huge positive. But no, it's not a requirement or anything like that. We help everybody. We work with everybody. We want to help as many people as we can. So no. English, Spanish, Chinese, anything, let me know.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Raul, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show today. And if folks want to get in touch with you to buy or sell real estate, pick your brain, join your team, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so best way is definitely my cell phone. My number is 303-947-5257. My Facebook and, actually my Instagram is at Raul H. Realtor. And Facebook as well, just facebook.com/Raul H. Realtor. So those are the best ways. If you want to email me, it's Raul@paisano.com, just like my company name, Paisano. I'm so used to spelling that over the years, but yeah, it's Raul@paisano.com. And yeah, anything you guys need, whether it be another agent or somebody that's looking to buy and sell, we are here. And I really appreciate you having me on this interview as well.
It's been awesome getting to know you. And as always, guys, if you're loving this content, please be sure to subscribe on YouTube and iTunes so that you never miss an episode, and leave us a review. It helps us continue to attract awesome guests like Raul, who take the time to share this amazing content and strategy and love and all that good stuff that we love here at Pursuing Freedom. So as always, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Have an awesome day.